Welcome back again to Charlie Tuktuk Network, where we talk about everything you need to know about the Tuktuk economy. And in our today's video, we are going to be talking about, leo tuongelee watu wa tuktuk by the way, leo tunaongelea watu wa gari, lakini kwa nini ni, why is it important for us to talk about car owners or vehicle owners rather than the tuktuk owners today? It's simply because this is something that has been brought to us as Charlie Tuktuk's network, that car owners really harass a lot tuktuk owners. And I'm not talking about expensive cars. I'm talking about gari to 1.2 million, 1.3 million, mostly Toyota brands. Sorry to say this. And why are we bringing this to your attention as a vehicle owner? Because there are things you need to be aware of every time a tuk-tuk is in front of you, behind you, or you are the one in the two situations. So either in front of the tuk-tuk or behind the tuk-tuk. You either want to overtake the tuk-tuk or the tuk-tuk wants to overtake you, and there are some things you need to be aware of. For those who use German vehicles, I really believe you have so many safety features. Rarely will you find yourself in these situations. Situation number 1, umekanyagia tuk-tuk emergency brakes. As a result, tuk-tuk imekubomoa, you have caused an accident, or you have damaged the tuk-tuk. So why does this usually happen? This usually happens under two circumstances. A tuk-tuk is a manual vehicle, and I mean it is way 100% manual than the car, just like the car that was brought to us in around 1999. We can gauge it with the Toyota Corolla, I think the first, second generation of the Toyota Corolla. So the tuk-tuk by itself, or you can gauge it with the 1999 Land Rover Defender. I usually love using that as an example because they usually have a few characteristics. Both are off-road vehicles. Most to say is that both are fully metallic vehicles. Simply means either zimetengenezwa na aluminium or a good metallic body. And that's why that is the one thing that makes a tuk-tuk very safe. Now, what are the features that the tuk-tuk doesn't have? The tuk-tuk doesn't have airbags. So far, za Piaggio, they don't have that. Za TVS, they don't have that. Not unless there is a new model of tuk-tuk that has airbags. So this simply implies, ukiona tuk-tuk inakuovertake, wacha ipite. Ukiona unataka kuovertake tuk-tuk, then i-overtake vizuri, hauhitaji kuovertake tuk-tuk na fujo. Number 2, never assume you are racing with a tuk-tuk. And what do I mean by that? Most tuk-tuk drivers have found themselves in the highway in circumstances where the car drivers are trying to compete them. This is something that I've even observed while going to the stage or just roaming around with the tuk-tuk. A tuk-tuk has a maximum speed of 80 kilometers per hour, which is not legal. So it simply means that for a tuk-tuk, the maximum speed of a tuk-tuk is 60 kilometers per hour. Its maximum speed is 80 kilometers per hour. Hata izifika maximum sababu it's way too light, so it won't be even stable on the road. So rarely will you find somebody accelerating the tuk-tuk up to 80 kilometers per hour. So it is usually 60, 65 maximum. A car has a maximum speed of up to 280 kilometers per hour. Kama unaendesha Subaru na inafika 180 ama 200, kwa nini uanze kukimbizana na tuk-tuk kama utaki kuiangusha? And we have seen these situations. We have seen ATX ikimaliza tuk-tuk. There was a case recently, tuk-tuk ilipata accident na ikabomolewa na basi. Everybody died. Why? Because drivers who use cars, every time you are running or you are passing by a tuk-tuk and you're in high speed, understand the vehicle you're overtaking or the vehicle in front of you, if it is a three-wheeler, it doesn't have the same speed. So by the time hata dereva ana blink, unaweza kuwa ushambomoa. Na imagine kama kungekuwa Bugatti na Lamborghini zingekuwa zinapita kwa super highways, watu wengi wangekuwa wamekufa sana na matuktuk, especially nowadays vile gari zinatoka. I want you to understand, if you have a German machine, you are accelerating from 0 to 100 in 0.6 seconds. Tuktuk ikianza ku accelerate, it might even take it a minute or even 50 seconds. So I can just imagine wewe uko na mbio zako huku, umekuja kupita katuktuk, alafu kalikuwa kana overtake na pia wewe unataka kuko overtake, utakabomoa of course na utaua kila mtu hapo. So to avoid, to be responsible drivers wherever we are, because I've seen recently tuktuk ramming a Land Rover Defender. You can imagine ramming a Land Rover Defender 110. This car is worth more than 20 million. Mind you, a tuktuk, a second-hand tuktuk is not even more than 300,000. Huyo mtu utamlipa aje? So you need to be aware of these things. Hata ukikanyaga emergency mbele na unajua tuktuk iko nyuma, mind of the guys who are behind you, not just the guys who are in front of you. So that is number one. When you're overtaking the tuktuk, I hope you understand that its maximum speed and its acceleration in order for it to pick up is way, way, way different from a normal car. So when you're going there and accelerating at a tuktuk, thinking that it will outmaneuver you, my friend, you will end up causing irreparable damage to the society and to a whole generation that was going to be raised with those parents or even with the tuktuk driver. So be aware of that. It saddens us as Charlie Tuktuk to see tuktuk accidents happening almost every week. And those are the ones that are in public. They are the ones that are unrecorded. Zenye tuktuk imekanyagiwa emergency, windscreen imebomoka. Now this also simply implies that for tuktuk manufacturers out there, I'm going to mention the Piaggio, the TVS and the Bajaj. You need to upgrade the tuktuk kwenye tumefika, because it is a versatile means of transport and it is being used. So you need to add more safety features. Possibly auto blind spot assist, that might really come in handy to a tuktuk. Lane keep assist, that can really come in handy into a tuktuk. And people are going to afford. If right now an electric tuktuk is costing around 1.2 million, do you think you'll bring another tuktuk that is way safer and advanced and people won't be able to purchase it? And they are buying these things. So vehicle owners, please, when you see a tuktuk in front of you, I hope you put those two things in mind. Number one, the time the tuktuk takes to accelerate. And number two, it is way too manual. So don't expect this guy is now going to start shifting. You know, an automatic car is way advanced. You kanyaga brake na imekanyaga. You tuktuk kanyaga brake na utoke kwa gia namba 4 urudi. Hawezi kanyaga brake na gia namba 4 ukanyage. Lazima ukanyage brake na urudishe hizo gia hadi namba 3. For those who are versatile or familiar with manual cars. So point number 3 is that the brake system that a tuktuk uses is not the same brake system that a car uses. A tuktuk does not have a special feature in the car which is called the anti-lock brake system. It doesn't have the ABS system in the tuktuk. So ukikuja kukanyagia tuktuk emergency zako, my friend, alafu akubomoe maybe kutoka na nyuma ama kutoka na mbele, sometimes as much as the driver might be on fault, you need to mind about these things. The reason why we produce educative content for tuktuk and tuktuk investors, entrepreneurs, and tuktuk enthusiasts, it's because it is time for you to become enlightened so that you don't experience things on the road that you could have simply avoided. Umenunua gari mpya KDP, unafinya mafuta, utaki hata kuona tuktuk kwa barabara, utabomoa hiyo tuktuk, my friend. Because the reaction speed yenye inahitajika pale to outmaneuver, it might end up being costly. So when you see a tuktuk, slow down. If you're overtaking, make sure you have the indicators are on. Overtake this tuktuk. So the thing about the tuktuk, as I mentioned, this tuktuk still needs a lot of a lot of innovation. So the brake system, Tuktuk uses a brake system which is called a drum brake system. Basically what happens is that the brake pads, the linings will expand when you step on the brake. The linings will expand, and so they will hold the drum so that it can no longer move anymore. So that simply means kukinyesha, na sana sana kukinyesha kwa mvua, unafinya hiyo gari, unataka kufika haraka, lakini tuktuk iko mbele yako, most likely jua hiyo tuktuk inaweza poteza breki masaa yote, kwanza ikipita kwa maji mingi. So what does that simply mean? Be aware of your fellow road users, especially tuktuk users. We really don't want to see more of our drivers dying kwa barabara, not because it is their fault, but simply because you are not aware of how this technology is working. So hizo lining zina expand. So na kitu kingine ni kumaanisha tuktuk inaweza tupa breki, which is common. So sometimes inaweza kupoteza breki because of the way the system ya tuktuk. I do believe they are going to keep on perfecting it until we get the ABS system on the tuktuk. If you are a car owner na tuktuk iko mbele ama iko nyuma ama inataka kuovertake na unanyima nafasi, jua breki zake sio kama za gari. Hata kuna tuktuk zingine mzee sana inabidi hiyo breki imepampiwa ndio iweze kushika. So saa zingine unaweza poteza breki ama lining zinawezesha. Na ujue tuktuk breki zikiisha lining si kama gari ati itakuonyesha. No, it is manual like that. There is no way on the gauge system that will show you brakes zimeisha. The farthest it will go itakuonyesha oil imeisha, na itakuonyesha engine iko na shida. So be aware of that. So while you're out there and you're out maneuvering a tuktuk, especially kwa highway ama hata huku ndani, kindly mind a lot. If you're in places where there are plenty of tuktuks, then be careful. Just drive carefully, just, in order to safely reach where you are. And if the tuktuk is the one on offense, then they will be able to compensate you. Now, the other thing that you need to understand is that most tuktuks are way too old. They only tend to carry a third-party insurance. Sio comprehensive. So wewe ukiwa kwa barabara unafikiria vile mtasumbuana na huyu kijana, and mind you, the other guy is hustling, looking for money. That's why tuktuk is marketed as a money-making machine. It is not marketed as a personal vehicle, so don't expect this guy to be personal. The tuktuk driver is always doing 5 tasks in that car. That driver is a conductor. That driver is the one, yeye ndio navigation system. That driver ndio bado customer care kama kuna wateja nyuma. In the same person is the driver. And the same person is thinking of how he will be able to pay the owner of the tuktuk some money if, let's say, he has leased the tuktuk, or the contract stipulates that he must be dropping a certain amount of money every evening. So wewe ukikuja na hizo gari zako unakimbizana na mtu wa tuktuk, my friend, saa zingine mtu anakimbizana na wewe ayafikishe watu, ateremke apate ajaze hesabu. Wewe maybe unaenda shughuli zako ama unaenda starehe. Kwa nini unataka kuleta ajali kwa barabara na juu ya starehe? Tulia, wacha kijana atafute. Ndio maana ako na tuktuk. Wacha kijana atafute hadi mwanze kukimbizana na yeye, na mashini inaweza fika 100 kilometers per hour. Lakini unakimbizana na kijana mdogo anajaribu kujilea, alafu unatoka hapo unasema watu wa tuktuk hawananga adabu kwa barabara. These people, of course, they are stressful. Imagine if you are the one, you are riding the car. You have been employed, you have been told to deliver a certain amount of money by jioni. And it's not that you have ready customers, they are waiting. No, you have to hustle the street. You have to roam the streets in order to get these customers. You have to take care of the customers behind, because one will tell you, anashukia, let's assume Kasarani, mwingine akwambia anashukia Kiambu, mwingine akwambia anashukia Mohoko, mwingine akwambia anashukia Santon, mwingine akwambia anapanda pale juu Hunters. So lazima dereva akae akiwa amememorize hizo stage. Lazima dereva akae akihakikisha kila mtu anasafirishwa vizuri. Lazima dereva awakumbushe unafaa kulipa na M-Pesa before ufike. Most of you hadi unatakanga upatie dereva simu. And this is to customers, which we are going to be talking on about later on, mistakes you should avoid as a Tuktuk customer. So this is for car owners. So I need you to understand the pressure that is on the Tuktuk driver. God bless you if the Tuktuk driver is the owner, so at least pressure sio mingi, but if it's the driver, pressure ni mingi. So huyu mtu zile vitu ziko kwa akili yake, on top of that anafikiria vile yeye ataovertakiwa, vile ataovertake gari kwa nyuma, gari kwa mbele. Kwanza kwa highway Tuktuk inakuanga hata ni kama iendi. So that is something you should really put in mind, because some cases are expensive. Now, the last but not least, I'm even past the 3 points we are talking about. We are heading, I think, to the 5th or the 6th point. Kama uko na gari personal na umemodify kitu yoyote, tafadhali wacha kushinda umekaribia Tuktuk. Sababu tunajua vizuri kama umemodify hiyo gari, most likely if there is any incident, then you'll have to be paid cash. And that is a problem, because that is why we have insurance kwa barabara, so that the insurance can compensate you. But if there is no insurance, you can imagine the trouble you're going to be causing to the young kijana or to the young driver, because you rarely will you find old people driving a Tuktuk. Yes, there are some. Even the old man, that's pressure. Umeenda umemodify gari yako, unajua vizuri hautalipwa na insurance, na wewe unaendesha gari vile unataka. Umekuja umebomoa ka Tuktuk, kama hata mmeingiana ama hata mmegwaruzana rangi. My friend, hiyo inaharibia ekonomi ya Tuktuk bana. Then the last but not least, I told you the difference between a Tuktuk and a Range Rover and a Land Rover Defender 110, the 1999 model, ni ile iko na miguu nne, and it is bigger and it has a better engine. But the Tuktuk is also metallic, and I mean fully metallic everywhere apart from the cover, the tent cover of the Tuktuk. So mkigwaruzana na Tuktuk na uko na gari na unajua vizuri gari yako ni ya fiber, I can imagine the damage. Usijaribu kuovertake Tuktuk karibu. Wacha Tuktuk na Tuktuk ziovertakeane karibu na karibu, ndio hata zikiguzana they can be able to compensate themselves. But uko na gari, huyu ako na Tuktuk, tafadhali when you overtaking the Tuktuk, really mind the Tuktuk regardless of the place that you are in. Now I know there is a lot of congestions, and there are so many traffic rules that are bypassed, especially on the road. And there are some situations whereby utapata mmekaribiana sana. So tafadhali hiyo Tuktuk, make sure hauko karibu nayo. Kama itahitaji keep distance, sio lazima keep distance. Keep distance. Tuktuk hata inaweza ruka bump na upate clutch imeisha na ianze kurudi nyuma, na wewe sasa umeifuata mapua kwa mapua, alafu utoke hapo useme umeumizwa. I told you it is manual, and it is a very young technology that is being improved each and every single day. So the Tuktuk has a lot of issues. Now these issues does not make it unsafe. It is due to also the use case of the Tuktuk. You know, in Kenya, we defile a lot of things. Just yesterday, we were talking with another customer, and I was like, the biggest problem in Kenya is that we defile a lot of things. Now, sometimes it is not defiling, it is just creativity. Umechukua lori umegeuza imekuwa basi. What do you expect? Umechukua gari personal umegeuza imekuwa matatu, unaita maruti. What do you expect? Umechukua taunez umegeuza imekuwa pickup. People use something for what it was built for. And that is why I love German machines. You rarely will you find a German machine being used for what Umechukua siende imekuwa matatu. Kwani wewe unadhani huyu mtu alikuwa anatengeneza hii gari alikuwa anatengeneza akifikiria nini? So the same principle applies with the tuk-tuk. It is for 3 passengers, imegeuzwa imekuwa matatu. Hata unaweza pata imeongezwa kitu kingine nyuma. Inabeba capacity ya watu 9. Literally. Hiyo ni basi. It's a minivan. So be aware of such things, so that when you are driving your Porsche car, usiende kuleta kierere mingi umekaribiana. Na the same principle nitapeana na watu wa matatu. Usiende okay, you know matatu industry, they know how to deal with their fellow matatu people, but especially personal cars. Personal cars, I really want you to, why is it important for us to relay this message for you? Because we really love driving at peace and serving our customers and ensure they get the satisfaction they get. Because as we said, the future is a 3-wheeler. Na mnaziona saizi na zitakuwa mingi na zitaendelea kuwa mingi. So for those of you out there who have personal vehicles, who are usually in places where there are plenty of tuk-tuks, and I don't think saizi there is anywhere in Nairobi or in Kenya where you can go without seeing a tuk-tuk 1 or 2. You will have to spot 1 or 2. Just beware of these few little things. Every time a tuk-tuk is in front of you or behind you, or it is going to overtake you. And I do believe that when we have respect, discipline, and we keep the traffic rules and regulations, we will be able to have a safe travel and safe journeys wherever we are heading. And the tuk-tuk will be even more appealing, because saa zingine watu wa personal ndio wanaharibia tuk-tuk jina. So for today, that is all we are going to be talking about. Stay tuned, and you can comment any other things that personal car owners should watch out. Now, I quote, not that I'm a fan favorite of German machines. These people just know the cost of those repairs, so they usually make sure. Wanakuanga watu civilized, wacha niwaite hivyo. Now, there are the different car brands. I don't know what's the problem, but mostly I will mention really the most common cases we have been seeing. Toyota, Mazda, Udem, sijui nini. Oh my God. I don't think wiki inawezaisha kama hujasikia accident ya tuk-tuk na any of those few brands. And it's not because of sometimes the drivers are aggressive or they are rude or they don't know how to drive, but it's because most of the times, saa zingine, car owners underestimate the tuk-tuk a lot. To an extent, they end up causing irreparable damage. So let's drive safe wherever we are, and let's watch out also for tuk-tuk enthusiasts, because we want them to enjoy this mode of transport. Hatutaki tubebe mteja wetu, wewe ukuje umetupita na trailer bana, zayo tumesimama umepuliza tuk-tuk imeanguka huko chini. So just mind and watch out, so that we may live in a safe community. See you in our next video.